What's good? What's good? We about to get into it. How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Before we even start, I gotta have this quick conversation with y'all. I know y'all wondering where I've been. You know what I mean? I know y'all probably want how come he ain't out as much as he normally he should be doing more. He should be. I've been conflicted. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Put one in the air if you can hear me. Put a one in the air if you can hear me. I want to make sure all y'all hear me. Can y'all hear me? Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Listen, I'm gonna say for the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, I've been conflicted. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've been conflicted about not so much the content space, but the NBA as a whole. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Once you figure out what the game is and what they doing, and with the data and all this shit that's going on, once you find out everything, you start to lose that love for it because it's not the game that you grew up playing. It's so far from basketball. You know what I mean? That shit just look like all out capitalism now. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to have genuine conversations with the love that I have for basketball, watching what the NBA is putting out as an approximation of basketball. Because it's curated and tailored to be a certain way for a certain purpose. And it's so far from the basketball we fell in love with when David Stern was in the league. Of course, they had rules and they had regulations and they had different things in place, but it still looked like the basketball game we played as kids. We can see what we were doing with our teams at the NBA play on that platform. Now it's such a disconnect. It's like a chick. You grew up with a girl and y'all were cool, and then you find out she's stripping, but you don't hear it via a rumor. You see her at the strip club on a pole stripping, and you like, damn, she for the streets. I ain't even, what I mean? And that's how I feel about the NBA. We're seeing the bare essentials of the NBA. The NBA got the clear heels on. Stay on the stripper pole. Stay trying to get attention. Stay trying to get a dollar. And if the game is for the streets, then I gotta handle it a certain way. I can't have it. I can't come in there playing that simp role, talking about basketball used to be and how dope it used to be. Nah, she a hoe now. She borderline hoeing right now, and I can't treat her like Claire Huxtable no more. I can't show her that love I showed Gina when Gina was with Martin. Now that shit is like some sexy red shit. The NBA out here hoeing. You know what I mean? And it's hard for me to talk about basketball when I know this shit is on some. It's on some sucker shit. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching everything. Don't get it fucked up. I watch everything. I see everything. I'm into everything. And then when it come time for me to talk about it, it's like I know it's some bullshit to get it to this point. And it's like you can't genuinely talk about basketball because you know all the bullshit that was put in play for it to be what it looks like now. So it's hard to have a genuine conversation about some bullshit because we all want to have genuine basketball conversation. But it's some bullshit now. It's a bunch of bullshit going on for entertainment purposes, to get our attention, to get the almighty dollar. We get it. But when do we get basketball the way we want basketball, the way it's supposed to be? When the game is the game and it's not the business of basketball. And I'm seeing more of the business of basketball. And I'm like, I can't talk about the way I want to genuinely talk about the game because the game ain't the game no more. So I gotta love it the way it is. It's for the streets, so I'm gonna treat it like it's for the streets. So now when I talk about the game, it's gonna be from a certain vantage point. I'm not gonna be too attached to it because I know it's some bullshit. And it's frustrating because it's like I love the game of basketball. I love talking about basketball, but when you see this shit, you be like, it don't even feel right. Like these niggas don't celebrate the winners no more. They celebrate niggas who perform like they winners. And they treat the winners like they ain't shit. And you're like, yo, you play to win. That's why you hoop. You compete, you do all this shit because you want to win. And then when you see the winners get treated like they nobodies, and then you get performers get treated like they're winners, you be like, nigga, this shit is ass backwards. Just because you have a good season or a good game, you gotta win. The bottom line is you winning. And it's like, all right, man, I see what this is. It's for the streets. So It's like one of them things. Do I treat a hoe like a hoe? Or do I keep trying to treat a hoe like a housewife? You know what I mean? Because you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. So I'm going to treat the hoe like a hoe. And it's frustrating because it's like, damn, there's some good qualities in that game of basketball that's getting overlooked for the drama, for the clickbaits, for the viral moment. And you like, nigga, that ain't got nothing to do with the game. So now we got to wait 6-7 months just to get to the playoffs where we can see a little bit of basketball for like 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks of genuine competitive basketball. But for 6 months, we get to see bullshit. It's a waste of time. And it's like, it's hard to talk about it because it's like, it's bullshit. And I don't like having bullshit conversations. If I'm gonna say something, it's because I got something genuinely to say. But it's for the streets right now, man. The game is for the streets. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. You know what I mean? And I want to talk about the game every day, all day, but it's like, yo, I know it's some bullshit. It's like, nigga, it's already bullshit. So now I'm gonna try and have a genuine conversation about bullshit. And y'all know it's bullshit. I know it's bullshit, but we're trying to go into this imaginary world where basketball is genuine and we can have a real conversation when actuality is just real bullshit. So I had to, for the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, I've been trying to find an angle where I could talk about basketball and still show some love to the game that I grew up loving that kept me out of trouble and shit, and then still speak that truth that I like. It's like I gotta find that thing. You know what I mean? And it's hard for like the last 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. I've been trying to find that angle because everybody right now is on some bullshit. Like everybody. Either niggas want to take you into la la land and what ifs and imaginary shit so far from real life. Because basketball used to reflect real life. A lot of the stuff we learned on the court, we could apply in real life. Now you can't apply none of that shit. That shit doesn't correlate into what you're living. It used to be a lifestyle. Now it's just some shit. It's wild right now. Like there's no real connection. So I had to sit there and figure this shit out for like a year and a half, 2 years. Like what's the angle? Because everybody sound the same. Everybody trying to do the same. And it's ironic that the way I've been talking for the last few years, everybody's talking that way now. So this shit is corny to me. Everybody, it's crazy. And it's not just people on you. It's like NBA players too. The shit I've been saying for the last 3-4 years. Now they're starting to say it. And I'm like, oh, now I realize I've been right. I know I was right. But it's like now y'all saying it in the way out. I'm like, all right, now it's corny when you do it. So now I got to find a new angle because y'all niggas is lame when they start doing it. Now everybody talking about what it's like after the NBA. I've been telling y'all what the NBA experience is like. You don't have to be in the NBA to understand that. You meet people, they talk to you. When you're good enough and you're talented enough, you meet enough people who tell you what it is. So all those questions about, yo, you ain't, I just understand shit because I know shit. I know a lot. I met a lot of people. I know a lot of people. And now I'm hearing them sound like me. I'm like, I got to do something else. I got to take it someplace else. I don't even like niggas wearing, I don't even, like, I've never worn the same shoe as anybody else. I never worn the same shirt. None of that shit. Like, these niggas is looking like they in singing groups, all sounding the same. Look, now everybody's running out of content. And now everybody's taking these little sound bites and trying to make it into something interesting. And I'm like, if that's the game, then we're missing something. Because it takes 4 people to get the point across now. Remember, back in the day, it could be one person talking. You understand. All right, I get it. Now you got 4. It takes 4 people to get you to a certain emotional state. And then there's no real connection. Because everybody's arguing with each other as opposed to getting to the point and everybody staying on top of the topic and staying on top of the point. Either they want to be funny or they want to argue or they want to talk about their personal story. It's the shit I was doing 3 years ago in the pandemic. I'm like, all right, now I got to do something else. This shit is whack now. So like I said, I had to come up with something different. And I finally, not so much scratched the surface, but I got it. I got the angle. I got the angle. The vibe is right. I've been working on it, the last couple of days, polishing it off. Pause, no freaky. Just making sure it's all right. I can start. And as I do it, as I use it and master it, it'll get better and better. It's something that they can't do. It's something nobody. It's only a handful of people that can do what I'm about to do. Only a handful of people, and no one's doing it in sports. I can tell you that right now. You're gonna have to look at the Bill Burrs, the Dave Chappelles, the Cat Williams. You're gonna have to go into that bag. You're gonna have to look at the top notch. Watch. We're gonna have fun. I'm gonna bring the fun back. You know what I mean? We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun. But it's I was just so fucking conflicted. Like we will win games and lose games, and I watch teams play and I want to say something, but it's like it's bullshit. It's all on a bullshit platform and it's all been manipulated to be the way it is. And I see it. But we're gonna have fun with it. If it's gonna be bullshit, we're gonna have fun with it. Fuck it. We just gonna have fun with it. Yeah, Nick Nurse is about to get fired. Let's be clear on it. I said that when he got hired. I said I just had to get that off my chest. Now we could get into what we get into. You know what I mean? Me reading the comments and we going us going back and forth. But I just had to get that off my chest. It's like I gotta genuinely. I don't know if y'all have the same problem that I had. Like it's just I just gotta love it differently. You know what I mean? I gotta draw that line where I know it's not as real as it used to be. You know what I mean? Is she on the stripper pole? She trying to hustle to get it. It's what it is. So now you got to treat her like that, and I ain't got no problem with doing it. But we gonna have some fun while we do it. That's a fact. Yeah, but Nick Nurse is getting. I knew he was gonna get fired when they hired him. I knew he wouldn't last long. I knew he wouldn't last long. I knew he wouldn't last long because he didn't learn anything with us. And in order for them in the Sixers to continue to be successful, he had to use his bench. They wanted to play for Doc Rivers. That's the one thing that people get. All the players that play for Doc Rivers genuinely want to play with him. They want to play for the dude. He gonna give you a shot. He gonna give you that bag. He gonna give you a shot. They ain't necessarily want to play for him. And then when he had that losing season, they dropped. They lost a few games. They dropped a few games off from where they used to be. Then they dropped off again this year. It's ugly. It's ugly. Yeah, he's definitely getting fired. They're not going to find a LeBron replacement. I've been saying that for every listen. That man literally brought in $750 million to the businesses across the street in Cleveland. In Cleveland, they was making that type of money. There's nobody. He's the biggest cash cow the NBA has ever seen. Michael Jordan was one of the most popular at that time. He's the popular one, very popular. LeBron is on a whole nother level, like with social media and how much money is getting thrown. Like you make billions with LeBron off the rip. And if you asking me, LeBron is he's been underpaid for the last 10 years. If anybody deserves 100 million a year, it's LeBron because he brings in that much money. Everywhere he goes, everybody's making money. Players, teams, companies affiliated, businesses in the area, everybody's eating. They're never gonna find another LeBron. And he accepted the franchise role. Like he wanted to be the NBA's face. And that takes he had to walk a tight rope. Damn near perfect. Damn near perfect. Nobody want to walk that rope. Nobody want to walk that tightrope. Everybody want to have blemishes. They want to seem like they're real people. You know what I'm saying? While getting their nails done and their faces done, and you know what I mean? How many regular guys are getting facials on a regular basis? Some guys do it because that's their thing. But the NBA player, they have a different regimen, different vitamins, different. They're pampered pretty much. We can't fucking identify with that level of pampering. They rather, you know what I mean? Like they don't want to be a part of the system like that. They coming to get money. It's more hustlers in the NBA than ever. Like, don't get it fucked up. There's a lot of hustlers in the NBA. These niggas is hustling their basketball game. These kids are monetizing their game, getting paid. They're coming in to get as much as they possibly can and get out. They're not really trying to make no real money. They just trying to make enough, stay out the way, keep their social media following. When they retire, then they have a podcast or some other shit like that. It's hard. LeBron wanted to make money with everybody. He made a lot of investments. These kids that are coming in are investing in shit, DoorDash and Lyft and all that other shit. They're not, nigga, these niggas ain't investing in nothing. They'll start they'll put out an album before they get in an investment pool or a dark pool, so to speak. Oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? I love when my man is in the comment section and start going different. What's going on in the comment section? I'm gonna tell y'all something about Scotty, and something I realized in the last game. And y'all get offended when y'all hear that Draymond fucking comment in comparison. Even I make it from time to time. The reality is, on a really good team, he's the glue guy. That will be his ultimate role, all-star level, all NBA level glue guy. Remember, Draymond is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Let's get that clear. 4 championships, 5 championships. We're talking defensive player of the year, all NBA, all-star. Nah, he ain't put up 40. He ain't averaged 30. He did everything else because he knows how to play. Scotty knows how to play. Once we get everything intact, we're going to need Scotty to be the glue guy. And one thing I understood after hearing Darko talk about Scotty last game when he was guarding Kevin Durant, I realized that dream of me having him in that MVP category someday, that vision, it died. I realized he has a better chance of being a defensive player of the year or defensive. He can still be an all-star, all NBA. He may not be in the MVP conversation like certain guys are, or he may not ever be in that conversation, but he can still have a Hall of Fame career. It just won't be in the form of what we're seeing right now, where the media is putting the attention on and what everybody's sensationalizing, the scoring and the shooting ability. He can play basketball. Scotty can do everything else. He can't shoot. We understand that. He's not an elite scorer. We understand that. But he does everything else great at a high level. On our team, when Brandon comes, we're gonna need Scotty to lean into everything else that he can do, because we're not gonna need him to put up 25, 20, 28 a game. He can get us still the 19, 20 that he's getting us. And just get us everything else, the rebounds, the assists, guard the toughest assignment, shut that shit down, and we just keep the winning coming in. If he's a all defensive playmaker, all-star playmaker, I'm cool with that. But we know what's coming when Brandon gets on the court. I know how the fans are going to lean when Brandon gets on the court. I know how it's going to go. Everybody's going to lean towards the scorer, and we all know that. He's a killer. Brandon Ingram is going to come here to kill shit. And I told y'all, young players for years have had their eye on the Raptors. Y'all thought I was bullshitting. They all been watching. They were waiting to see how long Pascal and Fred and all them stay around. They was watching it. Because if once you get them out the way, it's open season. I never thought we would get rid of everybody. Once we got rid of everybody, I was like, oh, it's open season. Everything I said before is right. There's a lot of young players. Don't be surprised. It's a lot of young players that want to play in Toronto. They were just waiting to see what we were going to do with Fred and OG and Pascal and at one point Norm. They were waiting. Let's see if they keep everybody. The minute everybody's gone, you're gonna see. This Brandon Ingram is not the last. There's gonna be some guys calling, and we're gonna have our pick. Just the way we supposed to. The way we supposed to. Now we just gotta win. But I don't see Scotty holding on to being the face of the franchise, and he don't have to. Nowhere has he ever been the face. Not in high school, not in college. We put him on that pedestal. And the reality is, with his game, he doesn't have to necessarily be on the pedestal. I say let him enjoy his money, let him enjoy everything that he's accomplished, But the reality is we're going to need him to be a different type of player than what we dreamed of him being. He's going to be a big part of us winning, but he's not going to be the stars that we've seen traditionally, that we expect to be, you know, that face, that guy. But he's going to still be an all-star, still be all defensive, but it will be normalized. I don't think we're not going to look at him like we've been looking at him. We're just going to look at him with more respect, but it's not going to be the admiration and that thing that you look at a star. You know how you look at a superstar and you kind of admire and you wish you had some of those qualities? I don't think we're going to have that type of thing when it comes to Scotty. He's going to be a player that a lot of kids could relate to and could easily emulate, like I was saying years ago. His style of play can be imitated by another kid. We're going to see more Scotty Barnes type of players, kids that have more of an all-around game, who are 6'10", 6'8", could be power forwards, Anthony Mason types. The only reason why I don't say I don't compare him to Anthony Mason, because don't get me wrong, I love Anthony Mason. It's New York all day, but Draymond got rings, and I want to win a championship here. So I would rather compare him to Draymond than anything because he got a championship. I can't compare him to Magic anymore. He's not in that Magic category. I just believe that we put him on this, like we did what we were supposed to do. We showed a young star. Actually, I think we showed the NBA that's how you treat your draft picks. Like most of these draft picks that came in, they've never got treated like Scotty. Let's be clear on that. None of these other draft picks get treated the same. None of them. Let alone the guys who have that playing style like Scotty. Just draft picks alone don't get treated with the love from the fan base the way Scotty has. And there's going to be guys that want to come here, and there's going to be opportunities for guys to flourish here. But right now, Scotty honestly got to understand that he's not like everybody else. And I've been saying that for a while now. Once he understands that he's a different type of professional basketball player, it'll free him up for everything that he can be. He might not be able to shoot from 30, 40 feet and get you 40. But a lot of players can't get you 15 rebounds and 12 assists. They can't lock down the toughest assignment and still run the team and still get you a W. Can't be a big part of winning. There's a lot more to basketball than scoring. Scoring is important, but at some point you got to fight. And those skill sets that he got are meant for battles, especially in the playoffs. But right now he's caught up in that wave because we showed him so much love that he wants to be compared with his peer group, but he doesn't necessarily have to be successful. And it's either he wants to be famous or he wants to be successful. I believe we could win real big with Scotty, but he has to accept his role. And that was like one of the toughest things for me to understand. Like, he's no longer on a pedestal to me. He's a good player who's going to have a great career, but we need a different type of face, a different type of star on the team, because he's going to be the good supporting cast to that guy. He's going to be an all-star supporter. And there's nothing wrong. Scottie Pippen was an all-star supporter to Michael Jordan. If he would have he stood on his own when Mike was gone, but that's because they had the triangle. They didn't have the triangle. Fuck you think how far Scotty would have went? You know what I mean? There's certain realities that you have to attach to certain guys. And once I realized that Scotty's a great defender and he got all these other traits, I kind of let go of him being that player that the NBA is going to appreciate. You know what I mean? Like the NBA don't appreciate all around players unless you can put up 30 or 40 or some shit like that. The only reason why they're embracing Joker the way that they are is he's a 7-foot point guard. They've never seen that before. His playmaking and Scotty playmaking are on the same wavelength. Believe it or not, he's just taller doing it. And his wingspan gives him an advantage with passes. He's more of a quarterback in the sense his touch, as far as his passes, are a little bit fine-tuned compared to Scotty's. But Scotty's court vision is up there, and everything else is up there as well. It's just that he doesn't build his game around that, as opposed to I want to shoot first. You see Joker come from rebounding to assist. He gets his shots and shit throughout the game. But him being a 7-footer and knowing how to use his size and play big, that's one thing Scotty doesn't know how to do. He doesn't realize that he's 6'8", 6'9", 250. You can crash out if you want to. There's nothing that they can do. He plays a little too small at times. Other than that, him and Joker are pretty much, that's the only reason why we appreciate Joker, because he can still put up a 40-point game, 30-point game, and he's from Europe. And they're trying to market the European style of play a little more to bring in that fan base. But if Joker was from fucking Lansing, Michigan, he would be just another player. He would be good. He'd be an all-star, but he wouldn't be fucking top of the MVP voting every year. If he was from anywhere in America, I promise you, Joker would not be number one on every fucking, the last 3 years he won MVP. So that wouldn't happen. Guarantee you that. Yeah, Joker is tough, but he just plays differently. Like, he starts with the rebounding and the way that Scotty should honestly utilize his game. But he's so young and he's caught up in that wave. His peer group of scorers, they can't do none of the other shit Scotty does. None of it. They don't rebound like they don't have the upside with the other parts of the game. They're good at scoring and creating baskets at times, but everything that he does helps a team, but it doesn't necessarily give you the spotlight all the time. And if he could accept that, I think we'll be better off as a team. We'll win. We could possibly win the championship that way. But it's tough when you had the spotlight for 3-4 years and you had the world loving you, and now you got to take a step back into the shadows and let somebody else shine in order for the team to win. We'll see how bad he wants to win then. We'll see. To a certain extent, I agree with you. To a certain extent, yeah, it's BI's team. He's I don't listen, not for a second do I believe he's coming in to be second fiddle to anybody. He's coming in to really let it be known. And his skill sets, listen, he can score all around the court. And Darko is sold on him. Ownership, most importantly, ownership is sold on him. Ownership is sold on him. They're gonna give him every opportunity to be an all-star and to be great again. Ownership is saying that. This is their personal. Listen, when he came, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to leave out because I didn't want to make it seem like I was jumping the gun. But I was hearing some shit. This was one of their personal favorites. This is somebody they wanted. And when they found out he wanted to be here, it was like a match made in heaven. That's why they signed him so fast. They wasn't. That's what you do when you really want something. Nigga, you don't wait no. Price is nothing. Sacrifice. We don't care. We'll figure that out later. We still need money for RJ. They like, we'll figure that shit out later. We want this. They're committed. They are trusting this. And if I was Scotty, I would be concerned with, yo, hold on. That was quick. It ain't as much as I got, but they're giving him something that they once gave me, that vote of confidence, and they believe in him. They're gonna give BI opportunity to be BI. And like I said, the NBA conversation around him, they want to say he's the man of the Raptors. I promise you that. Every show that I've seen, they start talking about Brandon Ingram and they get real smooth because they're waiting. They're waiting for those performances because that's their content. They can jump the gun and say a lot of shit right now, but they want to wait till the momentum builds in social media, and that's going to be their content. I promise you that. Watch. The minute he has his first good game, watch the numbers on social media. It's going to go from stack. It's going to go from the knuckleheads. It's going to go from 520, it's gonna go to Gil, it's gonna go to ESPN, it's gonna go. Watch the numbers. Watch. Watch how the algorithm is gonna cater to that conversation. Watch. It's gonna be the way it used to be for Scotty. Watch. It's It to a certain extent, yeah, it is gonna be his team. But he's and it's not just that it's gonna be his team in the sense that he's coming and he's taking it. He's gonna win us over with his performances because we've watched him grow and mature with the Lakers, with the Pelicans. We know we know what we're getting and we're anticipating it. And once we get it, we're gonna appreciate it just like we appreciate everybody else that's played here. He's definitely gonna be the people's champ. It's gonna be crazy. And then the machine is going back it. Yeah, 3 years, 120. That's he ain't coming in for nothing. But listen, and he's coming to restore his name, and he's gonna create a legacy because he doesn't have one. That Zion going to the Pelicans messed up his legacy. It messed up all his momentum. That's why he wanted to go to Miami. He offered. He was like, "Yo, I want to go trade me. I want to go to Miami." He was offering to go, and they wouldn't let him go. He never wanted to play. He didn't really want to play with Zion, especially when they started showing Zion all that love and he knew what Zion was. They both went to Duke. There are some things about Zion that he knows and he wasn't cool with. And I kept saying that for years. And niggas was like, nah, he want to play with him. He don't fucking want to be there. And then they gave Zion the money that he was expecting. They gave Zion 189 for what? Zion can't sell out an arena and he can't sell no products. I would have invested in BI and let Zion prove himself. That's a fact. Now the NBA, most of the players look for opportunities to flourish. The only thing in the way of a young player to flourish is an old player in his position. When Fred, OG, and Pascal were here, the young players couldn't dream of being here until they left because there were no openings. And these guys were champions together in the G League and in the NBA. So that's solidified. You had to wait till you break that up. Look at the opening now. It's wide opening. It's about to be a vibe. You got quickly running and gunning. RJ, you got Scotty, you got BI. What do you listen, that's an interesting combination of guys. Scotty complements all three of those guys. And all three of those guys are scorers. That foundation is interesting. I want to see what it look like. I want to see what it look like when they get going together. We might not be able to see that till next season, which is cool. I don't mind. As long as we can defend the 3-point line, we're gonna be a top 5 team. Easy top 5. If we could defend the 3-point line. Because you got Grady Dick, Abaji, Jamal Shea coming off the bench. That's production. Jacoby Walton's coming off the bench. That's production. If Chris is still here, you know what I mean? We got options. We can mix it up and mix it in. And now you got fucking. I'm upset that we traded Marquise because Marquise is killing the fucking G League. 32 and 12. But can he do it at the NBA level? Will he get that opportunity? We got to see. But he's killing the G League. Like, he's too good for the G League right now. He's on fire. Shout out to Marquise. Everybody says something like everybody says something about RJ's defense. Nobody plays defense in the NBA. You can't. It's just this approximation of defense. You just hope the guy misses the shot, right? You're not getting any more lockdown defenders. Like, even if he could use his gifts, the referees are gonna call a foul. Like, if the player's a little bit quicker than RJ on a mismatch, he's gonna get beat because he can't really guard him the way he wants to and be physical. He's a physical defender. You're forcing somebody that's a physical defender to use his feet now. and he might not have the foot speed, but there are other things that he can do. I wouldn't necessarily say like in a scheme, a good defensive scheme, you can utilize him. But ISO, he might find problems depending on who he got to guard. If you're putting him up against a fucking Ja Morant on a switch off, that's gonna be tough for everybody. Like who he's gonna be switched off on and end up guarding is probably gonna be a point guard. Darius Garland, Trae Young, something like that. It's never gonna be a two guard. He can guard 2 through 4 with no problem. But they're gonna switch him off with a point. So it looks like he's slower, but he's actually just, he's guarding the fastest guys in the league on a switch off. I think he's fine. Yo, what's up? I think he's gonna be fine. I think we need to figure out how to suffocate the players that are around that 3-point line. We got to defend that 3-point line better. Everything else is take care of itself. Because think about it, if RJ gets beat off the dribble, Scotty's coming to help. That's it. Let Scotty be help side defense. That's it. If everybody knows, all right, if I beat RJ off the dribble, Scotty's gonna fly. Scotty's fucking Batman. It's either I deal with RJ or I gotta deal with Batman because he's coming. If you know Scotty is coming, if you beat RJ, 9 times out of 10, RJ's gonna have more confidence defending, and the guy with the ball is not gonna want to really go by him. He's gonna try and figure some shit out. Whoa, that's just, I don't know about this one. Chris is good, but Bol Bol, he doesn't know how to play They're not teaching him how to play basketball, and he's arrogant. He's the only problem that Bol Bol, one of the big problems he's been having, he's arrogant. He's not like his pops. God bless the dead. His pops Manute Bol was a beautiful basketball soul. Everybody loved him, and he could shoot from 3. But he was a beautiful soul. Everybody loved Manute Bol. Bol Bol is arrogant. He's young. He knows what he can do, but his attitude isn't allowing him to even get an opportunity to do it. And they're giving him small windows to work in. He's not getting the opportunity to be like, they're not giving him the green light. He's gonna have to work and fight for it. And right now it's taking too long. He's running out of time. But Chris found his niche. I don't think Bol Bol has ever found his niche in the NBA. Chris has found his niche. I don't know about better though. Better is tough. It's close. It's close. It's just that Chris he carved out his own lane, and he's loved. Coaches love him. You know what I mean? And he knows how to play in the system. Bol Bol there's this attitude there. He got to work through a lot. I think if Bol Bol had the same opportunities, but there's a lot of work he got to do to get those opportunities, and his attitude is just, a lot of coaches don't really like him like that. Just off of his pop's name alone, he got into the league. Now his attitude and how he conducts himself and how the type of professional he is impacting the experience he's having. But if he could work himself into a space where he can get those same opportunities as Chris does, yeah, he'll be productive. But I wouldn't say Chris is way better though. Chris has earned his spot though, and all his opportunities. That's a big difference and something that you got to take into consideration when you're saying better, because it's not just basketball, it's the business. So people like him in this business of basketball. A lot of people like Chris in this business. A lot of people don't necessarily like Bol Bol, and that has a lot to do with the opportunities you get to showcase your game. And that might be the thing that's holding him back, those relationships that he does not have. Chris has a lot of relationships, and a lot of people are aware of him, and they don't have there's no smut on his name. You know what I mean? There's no scandal, there's no Instagram, there's none of that. He's a professional. So Chris is going to get opportunities that Bol Bol may only dream of at this point. Even if he is better, you're never going to see it because he's never going to get the opportunity. That's tough. I don't know. I don't know. Norm is different. Norm should have been an all-star this year, by the way. Norman Powell should have been an all-star. If LeBron wasn't going to play, he should have just gave up that spot. Everybody else in years past, when they decided not to play and they still showed up, they gave their spot to somebody else. That spot could have went to Norman Powell or LaMelo or Trey. There's three guys that could have had that spot. Norman Powell would have got it on the West. If they were picking somebody from the West, he's averaging 24, shooting 45% from three. But in the three-point contest, that shit was hard to watch. Norman Powell in the three-point contest was horrible. I wish Grady Dick was in the three-point contest. I wish he would have qualified for that. I think he would have won it. I think Grady would have won it. I think his shot, his form is perfect for that. And he could use his arms as opposed to using his legs. Man, listen, it'd have been easy. Easy work. Who DM'd a friend of yours? What's that? What we talking about, family? What's that about? He probably was high. Yeah, but like I was saying before, it's been tough for me to figure out the angle to talk about this game that I know is on some nut shit without, you know what I mean? Because it's like I said, it's like trying to turn a hoe into a housewife type of thing. And I had this dilemma of trying to figure out how do I want to talk about the NBA and what I'm seeing and the opportunity, the conversations I want to have. And it's like, all right, cool. I got to figure out an angle to do it with. I'm completely different from everybody else, and I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? So I had to figure all that out. You know what I mean? And I know it's been a week, and I really needed that week because it's like it was frustrating. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I'm seeing all these opportunities to talk about shit, but it's like this shit is whack because this shit is fake. You know what I mean? You don't know if if the referees will put on like, don't call fouls this game. Call fouls this game. Let this slide and give him the green light. Like you start thinking, damn, did he genuinely drop 30 or did he genuinely do this or did the referees have, you know what I mean? You start questioning everything because you got sports betting involved. You got all this money involved, the 76 billion. They're rehearsing now for the NBC broadcasting. That's why they're bringing everybody on now because they're doing rehearsals and shit. That's why the last person they got, I think, was Mello. So now they're starting the rehearsals and shit like that. They're not gonna go in there cold. They're gonna be, when these networks have these shows, they come in dressed. They got pre-show, then they do rehearsals fully dressed in front of the camera and they tape it. Like all these shows you see on ESPN, they do live like dress rehearsals where everybody's in suits, makeup, all that shit, and they review those tapes before they go on air. So right now they're rehearsing because they want it to be a big production, but it takes away from basketball. You know what I mean? It's definitely difficult. You know what I mean? That's why I've been trying to figure out what's my angle the last, like trying to just take care of everything so that I can make sure the product is the way I want it to be and we can have the conversations we should be having in the way that we want to have it. Because we not the game is for the streets right now. This NBA shit is for the streets. Definitely a hoe. Definitely out here hoeing. And we ain't turning hoes into housewives around here. I'm not gonna be unconditionally loving something that's on some other shit. Me, that was that was my problem too. That's been my problem for like the last year and a half, 2 years. And then it just came to a head the last week where it was like I want to talk about this shit, but it just bothers me to know everything that I know. Cause now it's like I know I'm lying if I'm trying to have these genuine conversations about some bullshit that I know ain't right. Now that we all know the NBA ain't right and we understand it and we don't, we just gonna have some fun with it. I'm definitely just gonna have some fun with it. I agree. I agree. And it's one of those things where you just want to find a way to still love it the way because you can't love it the way you used to love it. It's not even the same person. You know what I mean? The bitch is in the strip club, she got a BBL, and she wants you to address her like she's always been fine. And you're like, nah, I liked you better the way you used to be. You know what I mean? Like you ain't I loved you more back then. Now I gotta find a way to love you as you are. And that's gonna take time. And it's and you're just looking at the NBA like, damn, like I got to find something I love about this shit. And I found something. I found an angle. I'm gonna have some fun. I wouldn't, yo. It's not even that. It's not us getting older. Because even when like you say, when guys got older, my generation, the generation older than mine, we didn't see everything about the game. Like we when it was basketball season, we saw basketball. Then we went to baseball season, football season. We had our summer to ourselves. It wasn't 24/7 information, insight, and looking at the lifestyles and all the extra stuff behind the scenes. Now they showing us too much, and we're seeing how it all ties into the game. And it's like the game could be better because you're seeing how players work now. You're seeing so much that it takes away from what it used to be as far as out of sight, out of mind. You see so much now you can't unsee what you've seen. We've seen footage of you working out, and then we see you in the season back to bum juice. So now we frustrated because we thought y'all was working and we thought he was working and we thought they was working, and the coaches are giving these interviews all the time, and you like, all right, I believe you. And then when you look, it's crazy on the court. So it's like it's one of the things where it's like I liked it better when we didn't have so much information. We just watched the season, how it played out. It played out. We didn't get a lot of conversation, and we went on about our business. Now it's like it's 24 hours, 365, and now we're seeing too much, and now we know the product can be a lot better. It could be a lot more consistent. We see all the bullshit, and it's like, yo, now I see why it's like, and it's not fun. So you got to figure out, all right, I know it's bullshit. Let me figure out what I like about it. Let me figure out how to make this fun. And it's hard sometimes because it's like, damn, this shit is fake. All of it. It's like when you found out wrestling was kind of on the fake side. The pains, the aches and pains are real, but getting hit with chairs, some of the chairs are lighter. Like that shit is lighter than what it's supposed to be. But it's still, you still deal with the pain of it all. It's tough, but listen, I see it like this. I found an angle and we gonna have some fun. I don't know about everybody else. I agree to a certain extent that all the players are friends now, and that hurts the game. I think that the biggest thing, mainly that hurt the game, is the way that the media looks at the winners. Like that kind of it used to be winning trumps everything. You win a championship, that meant the world. That's what it's you play the game to be a champion. Franchises were in business to try to win championships or compete for one. Now they don't really compete for, you know what I mean? They're just competing to get our attention. Like that's the championship. When we used to respect champions and winners. The reality is in real life, niggas don't give a fuck if you perform. If you're not winning, you can have a good week. You can have a good month. But if you had a fucked up year, the year was fucked up. That was a bad year. That was a tough one. Now it's like you got guys who are playing on teams that aren't good and they're still getting praised as if they're winners. And you can't tell the difference between who's winning and who ain't. Because everybody's getting like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like Boston. But I've never seen a Boston team that's won a championship get treated like shit. Like they're non-existent. They have no relevancy. They're not factors at all. At all. The only reason why the Lakers are factors is because LeBron is there. When LeBron leaves, this trust me, watch. The attention is not going to be there. I know Luka is there, but who cares? Luka was in Dallas. You see how that worked out. Not going to be any different. There's no Hollywood. There's no media push. They're pushing performers. They're not pushing winners. It used to connect to life a lot more. That's one of the things I miss. Winners win. You want it to be a success. Now, as long as I perform, that's not the same as winning, my nigga. It's not. Yes, it is. It's going to be. It's definitely going to be scary next season. Definitely. I can't wait for next season. But if listen, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Since we already know what it is, I'm gonna tell you the truth on this one. If we can't defend the 3-point line next year, fire that motherfucker. He gotta go. If we can't defend the 3-point line next season, he gotta go. I don't care about the offense and how the offense. If we can't defend, if we're not top 10 defending the 3-point line, he gotta go. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. Our offense is gonna be there. We got enough firepower. If we can't defend that 3-point line and be top 10 defending the three, he gotta go. I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna give Darko more of a chance. I'm gonna give him a chance. I don't know if we got defensive coaches. I hope we find something. Because if we can be top 10 defending the three, it's gonna make life a lot easier for everybody as far as the winning goes. Because we're one of the last fan bases that respect winning. Niggas don't care about winning. As long as they got a star player, they don't care about winning. They like everybody kind of want to win. If their team is winning, cool. But if they're not winning, they don't care. As long as they get entertained somehow. Like, nah, we like winning. We still respect winners. Nah, we not complaining. We just telling the truth. If we can't defend the 3-point line, he gotta go. That would be cool too. That might be overdue. That definitely might be overdue. We need to get more than whatever it takes to get us back to winning. If it means getting 18 assistant coaches, let's do it. Because we got enough firepower. We don't have to wait. The East is weak right now. The East is weak right now. Don't get it confused. Don't think because there's a couple of teams. Don't let the Cleveland shit fool you. Don't let the don't let the Celtics fool you. Don't let what you seeing fool you. The East is weak right now. It's ripe for us to be top five. It's ripe for us to be top five. The only team I'm gonna tell you the truth. The only team that I trust in the playoffs that's a problem is the Knicks. If they add a two pieces to that bench, it's gonna be a problem, man. Because you saw Milwaukee, they just got Kevin Porter. That solved a lot. Now G Money is out of the. He's gone. If he can't play with Kevin Porter, he's gone. And Kevin Porter is not giving him the ball, so he's gone. It's about, like I said, for whoever you have to have a bench. The supporting cast is very important now. They get a decent two players with the Knicks coming off the bench to give them a little 10 points, 20 points apiece. It's a problem. Because you can send one of the starters to the bench. You can send a Josh Hart, who they suggested, to the bench, and he'll still be productive. He like playing against the second unit and bummy ass teams anyway. He killed any team under 500. Josh Hart is going to destroy you. Any second unit, he's looking forward to that action, and he's the best rebounding, playmaking guard in the NBA. Phenomenal rebounding guard. 6'5" can get you 12 rebounds and 5 or 6 assists on top of that. It's impressive. Everybody else, I think, has weaknesses. The Pacers, they're out of pocket, relying on Halliburton instead of Pascal. That's gonna be the only thing that destroys them. They're focusing on the wrong guy offensively. You keep letting Halliburton run your team, you ain't going nowhere. The best shot y'all had was last year. Orlando's a threat. Orlando's a threat. And they talking about getting Anthony. I've been hearing some conversations. They trying to get Anthony Simmons from Portland. They're saying that he matches their timeline and they want him on that. Listen, everybody's looking for the right amalgamation of production from the bench. If they get Anthony Simmons on that bench with Cole Anthony and the rest of that, man, listen. I think they could beat the Cavs now. I definitely know that they could beat the Cavs. They get Anthony Simmons in the summer, problem. That's a headache. That is a fucking headache. I don't think, man, listen. And if Cleveland don't win this year or go to the Eastern Conference Finals, game 6, at the least, game 6, Eastern Conference, they're going to break that team up. LeBron is coming back home. Isn't he a free agent this summer? If I'm not mistaken, he's a free agent this summer. He can come out. He can break that deal and go. And Cleveland got enough to make that move. And the Lakers do need pieces around Luka. I've been telling y'all he's going back to Cleveland. That team is ripe to make that swap. And LeBron will go back to Cleveland, and then it's going to be another headache because they got some pieces. And everybody keeps talking about Dallas and Luka going back to Dallas. Dallas ain't shit. Listen, remember when the Clippers, when Kyrie was the star for the Clippers? Where were they? Exactly. Now he's the star of Dallas. Where are they? Exactly. They didn't get better. And you can say they got the fucking the paper mache NBA player. He's out. With the team they got, the Lakers got the better end of the deal. Anthony Davis can't help them if he's not available. And any team led by Kyrie ain't going nowhere. He needs a superstar. He needs LeBron. That's how it worked. It's never going to work any other way. Didn't work in Brooklyn when he tried it. They broke that up. Now he's in Dallas. Luka's gone. They ain't going nowhere. Dallas, and everybody kept saying, Dallas, look at it. They play tonight. It doesn't matter. Luka landed and listen, Luka's in a great place in LA. He's in a great place. Because if they lose, it's not his fault. He's not going to get blamed. Trust me. They'll find somebody else to blame. Luka's in the right place. He's off the hook. That Laker legacy is bigger than him. If he don't win, it's like, all right, you couldn't win the championship. In Dallas, they were expecting him to be everything. If he puts those numbers up with the Lakers, he's in some good conversations, whether they win or not. Now they're the 4th seed. I don't even know how the fuck that happened. I hope he get Vegas though. If LeBron gets that Vegas, if he's able to get the Vegas team, then you can move Memphis to the Eastern Conference. That's what I like more than anything. That's if they don't trade Ja Morant. These niggas is trying to get rid of Ja because his production is down, and that thing that he had that made him special, it looked like it's gone. That edge that he had is gone. So now it's like they're trying to They're trying to get rid of him. But if they come back to the Eastern Conference and they keep Ja Morant, I think it's going to be a party. I think all the point guard, it ain't going to be a night off for no point guards if Ja Morant comes to the Eastern Conference. I think LeBron will end up being the owner. I think he'll end up being the owner of a team. Everywhere he goes, he makes money. There's a lot of people willing to do business with him. Oh, he definitely trading. He trading motherfuckers all day long. The trade deadline is going to be more exciting than anything. Of course. Of course, he going to be trading everybody. But the one thing I can say about LeBron, he knows how to look for talent. Like, remember when he was doing that in like the mid 2000s? Him and Rich Paul was just going to all these college games looking for talent, going to all these high school games. And ironically, all those players that they were looking at ended up in the league. It all ended up in the league. He has an eye for talent. I'll give him that. I think he'll be a great owner. I don't know if he's gonna win a championship, but I think he'll be a great owner. It'll be interesting. It'll definitely add to the story. I mean, it's all bullshit anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's already tainted. So I think we got a good shot at being top five. Easy. If we could defend that 3-point line, we could be top five easily. And that's when it's gonna be interesting for me. Because I'm not really emotionally connected to none of the other teams really. You know what I mean? I could talk about them passionately, but there's no connection like that. You know what I mean? So I can't wait till we back in that conversation. I wouldn't trade RJ. You know what's better than having one 20-point scorer? It's having three of them, maybe even four. We could possibly have four guys averaging 20 and then have a productive bench. I like how that sounds. Or at least having four guys average over 18, 19 a game. We need all this. Listen, the more scorers you got, the better. It makes no sense. What are we going to do? We're going to trade RJ for another RJ? Because we need a RJ. We need a soldier like that. He complements BI perfectly. Like, I wouldn't change nothing. I wouldn't change nothing. I just don't understand what people are expecting. Why would you want to trade RJ? Like, how does that, just because you get a player doesn't mean you have to give up a player. You know what I mean? We got some great shit. Watch for what? We got a playmaking defender in Scotty. We got a scorer. We got another scorer. And it's not like he's a right-handed scorer. You got a right-handed scorer and a left-handed scorer. And then you got one of the fastest point guards in the NBA. Then you have Jakob, who at one point was sixth in rebounding. Dude, why would we change any of that shit? Don't change nothing. For what? What we going? Like I said, we going to trade RJ to look for another RJ? We got it already. Don't start Grady Dick until he's ready. Let him become sixth man of the year first. Once he goes through that Tyler Hero type of arch, go from bench player, six man, all star. You can't skip none of the steps, especially if he's coming to the NBA that young. Nah, put him through it. Let him earn his starting spot again. Have him come off the bench, be six man, then hop in, and then we continue. But if you're saying just trade RJ just for the sake of letting him go, who's gonna fill that void? And I know you're gonna say y'all people are gonna say Grady Dick. No, he can't fill that void. As much as you want him to, he can't. Because there's also a presence. It's not just the numbers, it's the presence on the court that we're missing. RJ has a presence. The air gets a little thicker when he's on the court. Motherfuckers ain't got an easy night. You see RJ on it's a problem. And he could explode at any time. Nobody wants to be physical. Nobody, man, listen, we better keep him. I say keep him. We can't let him, we can't just let him go just cause people say, no, we got BI, now we got, no, we don't. More scorers. There's nothing, listen, we could potentially have fucking 8 guys in double figures. We can end up having 8, 9 guys in double figures. We not keep this shit the way it is. We not changing nothing. You want us to stop us. Let the other 29 teams come together and stop us. Because if they can't, leave it the way it is. We don't need a big name. Watch what happens when, like I said, watch what happens when Brandon has those games. The machine is going to back him. There's no such thing as a big name. I'm going to say that right now. There's no such thing as a big name player. It's a player that the machine loves. It's a player that the advertisement companies love. It's the player that has those relationships where, yo, we got all these ads coming up. He got the shoe. He got this. He got all these different spots. In order for us, we got to make the advertisers got to make their money. The companies got to get those sales. And if he's their brand ambassador, he got to be shown on television. And a lot of times, those are just deals being satisfied by major players. But as far as a big name player, there's no such thing as big names. The media, the market, the machine makes them a big name by constantly putting them in our faces. And that's what's going to happen with Brandon Ingram. The minute he gets going, all these podcasters, all the shows, and the NBA machine is going to push it. They definitely going to push the button. Watch him elevate into star status without even really playing any different. It's just that they're going to put the machine behind him. Whenever he has a 30-point game, watch him be one of the first faces on fucking ESPN and how they talk about him all. They're reserved. They're waiting for that conversation. Watch how the algorithm goes about when it comes to Brandon Ingram. Watch. The algorithm is going to watch. They all waiting. They know that content is going to be golden. Watch. All those like I said before, watch. From 520 to Gil to Stack to all these, watch. Cam and Mace, Wallow Gilly, watch the conversation. Watch. I promise you, watch. It's going to be interesting. You're going to be like, damn, how come they ain't do that for none of our other players? The machine is the machine. The machine looks for who they want to look out for. And remember, he played for Duke. Right now, 2 of the greatest coaches in college, Bobby Hurley, Danny Hurley. Bobby Hurley's Duke alumni. I love watching him growing up. Danny Hurley went to Seton Hall, played in the Big East. Their pops, iconic coach. Grant Hill, he's in the NBA. All those Duke guys are around. They're in the NBA. They're in media. They're all around. Watch, man, listen, watch. That's what I love. We got a lot to prove as a team. That's why I like this situation. He has a lot to prove and we got a lot to prove. It's the perfect story. It is the perfect story. They're gonna love it. Watch, they're gonna love it. The story is gonna tell itself, and the machine, they're gonna get Steven Spielberg to do this for. Watch. Everybody who can push that button is gonna push the button. Watch how it go. But if you get the machine to push a name, they really don't have to prove anything as of yet. You know what I'm saying? But I think the situation with us as a team, We got a lot to prove, and he has a lot to prove. And it's perfect. It's a perfect story. And it's a lot of people gonna make a lot of money. A lot of people gonna make a lot of money. You talking about in this playoffs? I don't know. It's hard to rely on Joel Embiid when you trusting him to be like MVP Joel Embiid. If you just want him to be a piece, he's a perfect piece right now. But if you want him to be that MVP guy that can carry y'all, shit, that's tough. That's tough. And he still carries himself like he's the MVP candidate, but he's far from it. I think it's Tyrese Maxey's team. They overpaid for the podcaster. They overpaid for Joel Embiid to make him happy. Now it's a wrap. I think it's over for the 76ers unless they start playing through Maxey, and then they won't really need Joel Embiid. They're going to go younger. The same way that we went younger, I think they're going to end up going younger. They're going to get rid of Joel Embiid and PG-13 within the next couple year and a half, 18 months, some shit like that. I don't see him staying. I don't see neither one of them staying. I don't know. I think he'll ring chase. I think he'll chase a ring. I think Joel Embiid will chase a ring for sure. He seems like the type that'll chase a ring. He looks like the guy that'll chase a ring. He looks like that guy. He'll get an honorable mention ring, as DeMarcus Cousins puts it. He'll get an honorable mention ring. I think the West commits to their rebuild because all the pressure at one point was on the Lakers and Golden State and the Lakers, Golden State, Denver. Who else? The Spurs when Pop was around, he garnered a lot of attention. So there were other teams that had the Clippers. A lot of teams had attention. So the teams that were underneath them had a chance to rebuild without us paying them any real attention year after year. You know what I mean? Because the Lakers and the guys at the top part of the league of that conference were holding it down so that they didn't have a shot anyway until they got their shit together. So those years when they were losing, it was like, all right, you're not going to beat those teams I just named. So your rebuild looks justified as opposed to you having an opportunity and it's slipping through your fingers because you got to rebuild. You're in the middle of a rebuild. But back then, these teams that had a chance to rebuild in the West, they weren't good enough or in a position to even compete against those upper echelon, the top five teams. So they were allowed to rebuild and without any real issues or market or problems as far as public opinion is concerned. Or they thought they were getting a steal. That's why they hired Nick Nurse. They thought they were getting a steal. Doc was out because they were blaming Doc for the losses. And Doc is an overrated coach. let's all be clear on that. Doc has always been an overrated coach. We all know that shit. Let's be clear. Nobody has had more talent. Nobody. The only coach that's had more talent than Doc Rivers is Phil Jackson. Nobody has had the talent pool that fucking. We talking T Mac. We talking fucking Grant Hill. We talking. Listen, that man has had some talent. The Boston teams, the Clippers teams, the Philly teams. Like he's had his shot. More than his shots. More than his shots. Yep. Yep. Same problems. We all knew Mike didn't want him on that team. We all knew why Isaiah wasn't. We knew in '92 why Isaiah wasn't on that team. They ain't had to fucking come out and tell us. We knew it. We knew it. We knew it. And for those of you who don't know, one of the real reasons why he wasn't on the team, we know Mike. We already knew Mike didn't want him on the team. He said Magic was gay. Allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly, but we all know that there's a reason why they were crying when they were reunited on TV. Like that had to happen on television, but whatever. At one point, him and Magic were close, and he accused Magic of being bisexual or homosexual at one point. And him being from Chicago, there was somebody who used to run with Magic, and they caught AIDS at the same time as Magic. This guy was a R&B artist. He had a hit record in the '80s, and he was reaching out to Magic. And everybody in Chicago, like there's a faction of people in Chicago who are upset about Magic not helping them because he used to run with Magic, they party with Magic, they both caught AIDS at the same time, allegedly, and he was asking Magic for help allegedly. These are the stories, and people from Chicago they there's they don't like Magic to this day in Chicago like that. Everybody don't like Magic, and Isaiah being from Chicago and knowing that story and knowing what it is, he accused Magic of playing both sides of the field, right? This was the alleged rumor. So that's why Magic didn't want him there. Bird didn't want him there because he said during the finals, he said that if Bird was a black player, he would be just another black player. He said if Larry Bird wasn't white, Larry Bird wouldn't be held in high esteem the way he was. If he was a black player, he would just be another black player. And Larry Bird was pissed off about that shit. Was it true? No, because Larry Bird was super nice. He would have still been a top tier player. Larry Bird was super nice, colorless nice. Even with LeBron, I'm gonna tell you how good Larry Bird is. If you say who is the better forward, Bird or LeBron, I'm saying with LeBron 40,000, 10 and 10, with the chant, with all of that, I still don't have him better than Bird. With everything that LeBron can do and everything that he is, I still don't have him better than Bird. That's how good Larry Bird was. And that was another reason why Isaiah wasn't on the team. He also had problems with Karl Malone and John Stockton. Reggie Miller didn't like him. Like it could have been, it wasn't just Mike that didn't want him on the team. Chuck Daly wanted him on the team, but it wasn't gonna happen. But they were gonna leave Isaiah off that team. When he had his moment, he was a Dame Dash type guy. And I love Dame, but he ruffled some feathers when he was in power. Yes, that too. But it wasn't just him talking. It was a lot of shit that he did behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like he did a lot of things that rubbed people the wrong way. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of players that got a story. You know what I mean? When he punched Rick Mahone in the face during the game, like that was a lot of extra shit, man. Shout out to Zeke. I hope he gets better, but yeah, there's a lot of reasons why Isaiah wasn't on that Olympic team. It was more than just MJ. A lot of players that was getting picked didn't want him on that team. Even if Mike would have never said that, somebody else would have said it. Somebody else on the team would have said that they didn't want him there, and he would have had to go either way because they would have voted on it, and he would have been Bobby Brown in New Edition. They would have been they would have been on the bus crying, voting his ass off the tour. That's what would have happened. Yeah, Chuck Daly was mad, but he understood it. And it wasn't just Mike. It was damn near 60-70% of the team. They would have ended up being that vote anyway. Nah, they wouldn't have let us. They wouldn't have let the bad boy Pistons would have never been allowed to be the bad boy Pistons. Like it was flagrant. Everybody was getting flagrant fouls. Half the team would be, they would be out. They would definitely, half their team would be out just off of technical fouls alone. Isaiah was a beast though. Isaiah Thomas was a beast, but he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. You know how it is when you're a champion, you feeling yourself. You know, I knew something was up with Isaiah when he traded Adrian Dantley for his homeboy. I was like, oh wow, that's tough. And if I'm not mistaken, this was after they won a championship or went to the finals. They traded Adrian Dantley for Mark Aguirre, who's his best friend. And Adrian Dantley was averaging like 25. It was crazy. Yeah, but Isaiah would have never been on that team. I don't think, not once all the stories combined, I don't think he would have never been on that team. There's too many alleged things and too many. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yo, and the crazy thing is, the only thing that stopped Larry Bird, he was putting down a cement driveway for his mother. That's what messed his back up. He didn't want to pay for anybody to do it. The legendary story is he messed his back up in the summertime, putting down a cement. First, you know how it is. You got to break the cement. He did that shit himself. He broke the cement on the driveway so that he can put more cement down because her driveway was messed up. And the legendary story is he did it himself. And that's what messed his back up. As opposed to hiring somebody to do it. He didn't want to hire anybody. And the legend has it that he did it himself. He paved the driveway. That's crazy. That's how we lost Larry Bird early. He was a beast. Larry Bird was, and if the Celtics would have got Lim Bias, if the Celtics would have got Lim Bias and had that team with Danny Ainge coming off the, I know a lot of y'all heard about Lim Bias. I need y'all to understand how good Lim Bias was. You take away LeBron's court vision, right? You take away LeBron's court vision, make him an average passer, improve his jump shot. So let's say LeBron is a 95 passing. You knock that down to about 70. And you take that jump shot that Lim Bias had. Lim Bias had, like, he could shoot his ass off. So we'll put the shooting ability up to 85, 90. Lim Bias was LeBron without a jump. Like, he was phenomenal. Just imagine LeBron with a jump shot. Take away the passing ability. Take away 25% of that. 20, yeah, about 25%. Lim Bias was good. He could jump as high as LeBron. He could shoot better. Just as explosive off the ground. He can post. He can post. He can go off the dribble. He can pull up. He could do everything. Everything. And he was the number. Yo, if he would have went to the Celtics, they would have won 3 more championships. There might never have been that Chicago thing. That legacy probably would have never happened because there is no way Scottie Pippen could stop Lim Bias. Scottie Pippen would never have stopped. Lim Bias was, man, listen, Scottie Pippen would have never stood a chance. He would have threw him in the post. He would have never had a shot. Yeah, Stewart's trying to be a bad. Yeah, he trying. Yeah, he's bugging though. He's bugging because he can't, like, he's getting the attention, but he can't play. He's getting all the attention he wants, but he can't hoop. If he could hoop, he'd be a beast. Yeah, John Stockton was great. I used to be pissed off with John Stockton. You fucking average 14. Yo, he used to average like 14 assists for years. 14 and 4, 14 and 8, 13 and 6. Like, I was so used to Magic being, the leader in assists, but fucking John Stockton was different. And he got all his assists. He got most of his assists from Karl Malone shooting that jump shot. Nah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say Mike was painted as the guy because of the rivalry. Nah, he was destroying the NBA. Yo, he was killing the league. There was a point. This is why you can never compare Kobe to him. There was a point in Michael Jordan's early where he was just dunking on everybody. He was dunking on everybody. Everybody was getting that work. Like now, you see guys dunk on somebody, you get excited. This one guy was dunking on everybody. Traffic, whatever, off the post, shot fake, dunk. Instead of a pull-up, dunk. Headsy, dunk. Post up, perfect footwork, dunk. Like it. Nah, Mike was different. Mike was different. Mike was different. It was nasty work. I don't see how we can compare anybody to Mike. Like everybody kept saying he played. I never saw it. I never saw him. If you're saying 35, 36-year-old Mike, yeah. But if you're saying young Mike with the fur coat, there is nothing like that. This motherfucker was different. 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 Yeah, I caught the 30 for 30. Yeah, it was fire. It was fire. It was definitely fire. I just wish, honestly, I wish they would have squeezed out one more. If they would have been able to three-peat, that should have been, it'd have been kind of dope. It'd have been kind of dope if they was able to three-peat. That'd have been interesting. They had some good teams though. And they wasn't paying nobody nothing. They was going all out for pennies if you're comparing it to what we're seeing right now. Mike had a cheat code though. Like Mike was ahead of the game in a lot of ways. And I don't think we're ever gonna figure out just how smart Mike was. Like Michael Jordan was a genius. He did like to be as good as he was, he didn't work as hard as everybody else had to work. Like it was very strategic. Like how he saw the game, how he prepared for the game. So imagine this. You're a basketball player. Your normal system is to prepare for you practice and then you play the game, right? Everybody, that's what Kobe did. That's what everybody practiced before the game for the game, right? That's a one step, then the game process. Michael Jordan didn't practice for the games. He practiced for the practices. He practiced to outperform everybody in the team practices. That was his game. And everybody was like, yo, you treating like if you think he treated the NBA bad, he treated everybody the same way. Whether you were on his team or on another team, you got the same fucking treatment if you played against him. He was trying to kill you. Did not want to lose. So if you're telling me I'm practicing so that I don't lose in practice, then when I get to the game, it's lightweight. The fuck you gonna do with me? The reality is, if you're around somebody every day and they get to see your game, they know they can figure out ways to stop you. If the person around you every day can't stop you, if the coaches coach this, the coaches used to try to coach to try to stop him. For real, for real. He took everything personal. So imagine what happens when you get in a fucking game. This motherfucker's just seeing, this is his first time seeing me in a month, 2 months. I'm gonna give him 50. It's nothing he could do. He don't know what to look for. There was no YouTube and There wasn't enough film floating around. You had that one game, maybe 2 games, and you try to piece together what he does. He was, man, listen, he figured out some shit early. Even the way he looked at the quarters, you only need 8 points a quarter. Nobody was fucking thinking like that in fucking 82, 83, 84, 84. Nobody started thinking like that till he brought it up almost after he stopped playing. He damn near made fucking Carmelo the league leading scorer. If I'm not mistaken, he did that year that Carmelo became led the league in scoring. That was because of Mike. The way he broke everything down and made it simple, I don't think we're ever going to understand how easy it was for him to accomplish what he accomplished. Can't compare anything to Mike. It's crazy. I agree. I don't think the Pistons or Mike will get started until that Len Bias run is over. Yeah, that was crazy. I remember watching. I heard of Penny when Penny was in high school. I remember when he got shot. I heard about him getting shot. Yo, some people didn't think he would recover, but he went to Memphis, got Memphis State, got busy, got busy. It was either Memphis or Memphis State. I always get those two mixed up. But he got busy. I don't know if y'all seen it, but there's a 4-hour highlight of him in college. It's the craziest shit I ever seen. I've never seen anybody with a 4-hour highlight tape that's fire. I watched all 4 hours. Penny was nice, but he wasn't as good as Mike. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. Penny was nice though. Penny was super nice. He was better than Grant Hill. he was he was better than Grant Hill. I'll tell you that much. He was definitely Grant was everybody boy. They pushed the machine was back in Grant. The machine ain't back. The machine wasn't back in Penny because he had Shaq. They loved him some Grant Hill, but Penny was better than Grant Hill. It should still be on YouTube. I hope they ain't take it down. But it was a 4-hour highlight on that dude. Oh, all right, no problem. Nah, they of course they're gonna put it all on Mike. They're gonna put it all on Mike, but it was like 65, 70% of the team didn't want him there. They didn't want Christian Layton either. I don't know why they put Christian Layton on the team. That fucked his career up. Yeah, that Chris Rock doing the voice. Yeah, that was fire. That was a good that 96, that 96 year was special. 96, that was a special year. Sean Kemp was fire. I remember staying up. I remember staying up to like 11:30 watching those playoff games. The Sonics and Golden State. I had to go to my grandma's house. I had to. School is the next day. I'm staying up taping the game. Yeah, that was those are some legendary nights. I can only stay up till 11:30. I used to get tired. By 11:30, that's my cutoff time. Shit start getting blurry. Your eyes get teary. You start yawning. Yeah, but Sean Kemp was nice. Him and Gary Payton was dope. Gary Payton was supposed to play for St. John's. I don't know if y'all know this, but Gary Payton was supposed to play for St. John's. Only thing Lucan II didn't want a kid from the West Coast to come to New York to be the starting point guard. See, they would have won him and Malik Sealy would have won a national championship. But but New York was New York. Like New York point. This is back when New York point guards stayed in the city. You know what I mean? You had Adrian Autry, Syracuse. You had you had the dude in Phelps in North Carolina. You had King Rice in North Carolina. Of course, you had Kenny Anderson in Georgia Tech. But you had Boo Harvey who stayed in the city, and a couple of other kids that stayed in the city. But Lou Conaseca was recruiting Gary Payton, and Gary Payton wanted to play in New York, but deal fell through. He ended up going to Oregon State. I kind of do wish that he came to St. I wish he would have, because I was a St. John's fan back then. Like if he'd have went to St. John's, they'd have won the national championship. You talking about the Grand Hills? I had a pair of the Grand Hills too. I didn't get the pennies though. I don't know. It was something about the pennies. I don't know. It looked a little busy. Now I like the phone posits when when it transformed into the phone posit, but it was some. I don't know. I ain't like the pennies like that. You know what I mean? I like the Grand Hill. The feel like Grand Hills was better, at least for me. Yeah, when I'm gonna get up out of here, I gotta get ready for work. But I just had to get that off my chest, man. Like this game is. I don't know. I had to just figure out what I loved about it now. It's a little difficult to find because it's crazy. But yo, I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. I'll definitely be here tomorrow, probably around this time. I might do it around 1 o'clock and just start from 1 o'clock and then build from there. But I'm gonna holler at y'all. I gotta get ready for work. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy your Tuesday. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.